What is poppin', y'all? It has been a minute. It has been a couple minutes, actually. I've been busy these last couple months. The last time, I've done one of these is I think it was the Squid Game show, and I missed y'all. I've been cooped up. I've been busy. It's been cold with all the traveling, with the football games, and then February I had to take a little time off just to like ease my brain, get a little reset because with the podcasting and reviewing the shows, movies, etc., and whatnot. We got some other things we're reviewing too. We're gonna add on to this, but yeah, y'all. I appreciate y'all sticking with me through the times and the trials and the tribulations. It's just been a busy time, but we coming back as you can see. And I wanted to, on my return to the podcast game, I wanted to find something that was real new, something fresh. Cause we could have talked about the traders. I was thinking about doing or challenge All Stars four, five, four, five, five, and no, I was like, let me just not do those because those can be oversaturated. And I wanted to get something fresh for you guys as well as a fresh take for me, something that I'm not, already have something to compare and contrast to. And what better thing than the brand new show on Fox called Extracted? Extracted season one. I didn't really know what the premise of the show basically is to survive in the wilderness. Now I'm not a camper. I can light a fire, but I don't have many survival skills out in the forest. And maybe I can learn something from the show as well, and also make my return back to y'all because I missed y'all so much. Uh, 'Cause we have a lot of new projects going on too. So I hope you've been enjoying the football content, the vlogs, if you have seen them at the Eagles games, the Pro Bowl vlog, all that stuff. Y'all know we sports up in here, but we also extra up in here and we doing it, you know, many kinds of ways, hence the DeAndre way. We not just going one direction. We got many different directions, but we're always going that way. And a lot of new things coming this year, and I'm excited and I'm happy to be back with y'all. A lot of changes coming, as you will see seen in soon enough. But let's commence, y'all. I want to talk about this show. I got a lot of strong feelings about this show. It's good so far. I'm pleased. Some people are crashing out in episode one, but that's to be expected being out in the wilderness and not eat for 24 hours. So without further ado, y'all, let's get back into it, y'all. Welcome back. All right, y'all. So we are gonna go through the season of Extracted, a new series on Fox about survival and wits and whatnot. Now, episode one, we get introduced to all the players, which we will get into in a minute. My initial reaction after is, wow, we doing the cliffhangers. Okay, I see. Nobody's eliminated after this episode, even though I thought somebody would be, multiple people would be. And it looks like we about to, we have a series of crash outs about to implode. But, I didn't know if this was going to be kind of like Survivor or this was going to be kind of like uh, I mean, I've seen, there's they have the show the hiking show on Fox. I think they hike to the top or CBS or they hike to the top of the mountain. I've seen a little bit of that, but I've seen survival shows before, but this is a little different when the fact of I feel like these people are playing a game where they're all if you're familiar with video games, it's the term why am I forgetting the term? RPG. RPG means role playing game. And in these kind of games, you can kind of just be on a map and kind of go wherever you want. If you play World of Warcraft, that's an RPG. If you've played Tomb Raider, that's an RPG. And this feels like a real life RPG, but you got the people back home, which is the computer, like the person that's getting dropped off on the island is that actual character in the video game, and then the parents and loved ones back in the headquarters, that's like the player playing the game. So it's kind of cool in that aspect. They can't really communicate with them, which I wish they could. I think that would add an extra element of like, okay, we're gonna work as a team communicating. And then you really could kind of see, who got the wits about them. I wish it wasn't all on the survivalists' shoulders, most of it. Just because, yeah, they can pack a care package from the HQ, but if that's all they can do and they're just sitting and watching and hoping and praying, then I mean, come on now. Like, I just feel like their usage and their time there could be better well spent. I think if they could communicate with them with a headset or something like that, then it would have really added an extra element of competition and who has the better wherewithal as a team to get the victory. So maybe that will be added later on. I do not know, but this first episode was basically a camping trip. I've been camping. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I can make a shelter. And the first thing I would do if they put me on this island is I would find some trees, build a little fort with some sticks, some wood pieces, maybe climb in the tree if I could find like a big enough bark to sleep on because there's live animals in this, which I was shook about. And yeah, I would do that, shelter from the wind, the cold. Who knows how cold it is out there? And animals, and just try and kick it and chill. And maybe, check out my surroundings, see if there's any berries, see if there's a stream of water, see if there's anything that I could use for my advantage because it's always important to know what's around you. I might even scream out to see if there's any of those survivalists out around me so we can work together. Because we work better as a team. I'm surprised none of them did that, or I wonder how far they are from each other on this in this jungle or wilderness, wherever they're at. But anywho, y'all, we meet the characters. We got a slew of various different people, which we will get into right now. So let's meet the characters. We got first Anthony and his parents, Yolanda and Tony. Now, these three, man, I hate to see a brother and a young brother and his parents crashing out on national TV. Tony is an ex NFL quarterback. He played, I saw, for the Texans and one other team. Can't remember, but yeah, he's an NFL quarterback, former NFL quarterback. His son is a model, and his mother, I don't think they have her job description on here, but maybe, she was the caretaker. But look, this family cracking me up already. There's a lot of different dynamics going on with this group. You sent, I don't know if they should have sent the model's son down there to do it. I think one of the parents might have should have gone just because, he's 18 years old at the end of the day. His dad is a former NFL quarterback. They got money, okay? They're not starving for $250,000, okay? Um, I mean, just look at the man's skin. Like, he been able taken care of well. So I think that won't have that desperation factor as we see in this first episode. He's already ready to go home because he's like, look, I got a nice life at home. I'm kicking it. I'm doing my thing. Why am I out here in this jungle for 250 bands when I got that probably, you know, in my bank account as we speak. So in his defense, I know he seems like a spoiled brat right here, which he probably is. But in his defense, I don't blame him for like thinking like that because at 18, like, why am I doing this if I already got things taken care of? Now, if we was, in the mud and we trying to get out, then okay, that's one thing. But I just think, his life is okay as it is, and he's like, what's the point of all this? And his parents really want to maybe put him in this to test him to see, to push him and kind of help him evolve and grow as a young man, a young black man in this country. So yeah, they going through it right now. I feel bad for the parents because he was saying some crazy things like on, whoever packed this, they packed their box, their med, not their med kit, their supply drop, and he was like, oh, why would they pack it like, why would they uh throw just the fishing line in here like this? It's all wrinkled up. I can't even use it. And he's just like, he's Captain Complaint right now, and he said some vile things about his parents, which is look, he's 18. At 18 we all said some crazy things about our parents. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt in this case. Like, mom, dad, like, come on now, like, let him crash out a little bit. He's dealing with the elements and he's not going to be a role model citizen, you know? I mean, it's not a good look by any means necessary. You know, it seems like he's ungrateful, but at the same time, he's going through it, you know, 24 hours without food when he's used to having 3 meals a day, probably. I don't blame him. But, anyways, that's the family. I like them so far. They're very entertaining. And I hope my boy can hold on just a little bit longer. And then we get down to, and they're from Houston, Texas, by the way, Dallas, Texas, and New York, New York. Oh, they have 2 homes. So, see, they got 2 homes. My man's ready to go back to the penthouse in New York. Anyways, we got the next batch of people. It's Scott, Ashley, and Austin. They are from Granbury, Texas. And the father, Scott, the father-in-law is right here in the beard with the beard, and then the fiance is with the black beard. And they sent the fourth grade teacher Ashley in there. Now she's not getting the fire lit. She's messing up the fire. She's doing okay without the fire. Before the fire, I'd say. I think they should have sent Scott in there, you know, or Austin in there. This one with the camo vest, like. I get the whole point of view of thinking like, okay, like I know they didn't know the rules. They weren't explaining anything. They probably just said pick one person to go live outside. And he's like, all right, well, I can take care of things back here and I'll get you everything that you need. You just got to take care of it. Rather than him being out there and they're not knowing what to give him. I see the thinking like that, but I think they made a mistake putting her out there if they're trying to really win this just because my man's looked like he's ready to go camping in at any time, you know, and he was even talking like he got all the experience, he knows everything. He was even talking about the magnesium and whatnot. So with the fire, and I just think you know they might crash out sooner than you know they're a strong team. If he was in there, I think they'd probably be the front runners, but I don't see the logic in sending her in there instead of him. But we'll see. She's they're crashing out more than she is at this point. But yes, we get down to Davina, Tori, and Devin, and she is a hairstylist and clown. Acting like a clown in this episode. Come on, girl. And they're from Jacksonville, Florida, and the family competing in HQ is a stepdaughter, Tori, and the sister, Devin. So Davina is in the middle, as you see. Now, they're doing all right. They holding down the fort. They didn't, you know, didn't show too much of them this episode, but they seem to be fine. They're all girl team, so they definitely have a little bit of an upside hill to climb just because, you know, guys in the wild, or if there's a guy on the team, more know how or into more survival shows or how to survive in the wild rather than women. They typically would not randomly YouTube a video on how to start a fire or how to like survive in the wilderness. You know, I've looked at videos like that before. So just a natural like gender role thing, but they seem all right so far and they're holding it down as they can. Haley, 26. Another all-girl team. Carly, Haley, and Natalie. Haley is a river guide from Long Island, New York. Shout out New York in the building. And the family competing in the HQ is Carly and best friend Natalie. So it's 3 friends. Three friends. You know, I if I brought my friends in here, they'd be clowning and trying to like, I don't know. They'd be trying to win the money, but they'd be clowning too much. But they didn't get too much airtime the first episode. Not much to say about these three. They seem to be doing fine so far under the radar, and that's always a good sign for shows like this. So not really, honestly, too much to say about them. Then we get to Jake, Austin, and Justin. Jake is a mortgage loan officer, and he's from Meridian, Idaho, and his brothers are Austin and Justin. Austin, Justin, and Jake. I said they put Jake in there because his name didn't rhyme, but he got the camo on. He looks like he's the one ready to go. Now, this is a strong team. You know, they all look pretty strong. They all look like they probably been camping before. They are doing well in this first episode. Um, yeah, he got the fire lit, so they seem to be fine so far. I think they're the team that they might have broke the tackle box, but this team seems fine. There wasn't really too much, you know, issues going on with them. He's in great spirits. This guy is excited to be out here. He has nothing but positive things to say. And he's looked like he's been waiting for this his whole life. So definitely have high expectations for this team. Hold on one second, y'all. I gotta plug this. Hold on real quick before my computer dies. Here we go. All right, I didn't want my computer to die on y'all. But anyways, they look like a strong team. Jake is chilling and he caught some fish too. So they definitely are the front runners in my eyes. Next, we have my favorite team, Terrence, Jacobin, and David. Jacobin is an off-road event promoter from Macomb, Mississippi, and the family competing in the HQ is Uncle Terrence and cousin David. Now, y'all might recognize this one right here. This is the home skillet biscuit, the ace dog in the cut. The Squid Game brethren in the game, Jacobin in the building. Y'all might have seen him. I interviewed him on a Squid Game Aftermath podcast. If you haven't, check it out. But yes, that's my dog. And I didn't know he was on the show, but now I know. And that's why I had the extra reason to get up here and go on and give the recaps. And I might have to bring him on the podcast. If y'all want to see Jacobin help me talk about these episodes, man, leave a comment below. But yes, my dog is in the building outside in the wilderness, and they look strong so far. Now, they did take two knives in the box, which is kind of scandalous, but hey, they trying in it to win it. But the problem is the people see that they took two knives and they gonna be quick to target a brother. They're gonna be quick to get him out. If they see that and there's any kind of voting strategy going on or anything like that, I'm worried. This is not a good look. Now, if there's nothing to do with no votes and this, that, and the third, they'd be all right. But they had to do what they had to do. But in these early stages, you don't know. That's the only thing I'm worried. Other than that, Jacobin, he's from Mississippi. He went through Squid Game. I've seen his content. If you haven't checked out his content, check out his content. He's not afraid to get down and dirty. I mean, a lot of his content involves getting completely muddy. So if anyone's built for this competition, he is. I definitely like their chances as long as there's nothing that has to do with voting, because it looks like in the trailer and also the future previews they getting a little. The brothers or his family in the HQ is getting a little hostile with the others. But I'm excited. I can't wait to see what Jacobin does. That's my dog, and I'm ready for to see them take it home. I'm ready to see them take it home. Next, we have Megan, who is 30 with Abby and Gerard. Megan is a wellness coach. She lives in Mandeville, Louisiana, and her best friend Abby and her father Gerard. There's a lot of people from the South on this show. A lot of Texas people, Mississippi, Louisiana. They seem to be doing fine. They didn't get a ton of airtime this episode, so there's not much to say about them. But Megan, under the radar. If you're under the radar on the first episode, then that bodes well from history of watching shows and whatnot, competition shows, essentially. But yeah, she is fit. She's not afraid to kind of get down and dirty. She's a wellness coach, so she knows how to take care of her own self and probably business around her. So I have no doubts that she's going to do well. Her father's in there as well as best friend. That's a great combo to have because they can kind of balance each other out when it comes to like the fatherly part and be concerned, but the friend part who acts like father part, the parents know you one way, but your friends know you another way. And if you combine those two, then they'll be able to bring the best parts rather than parents. They'll only be able to see you from a parent's eye. If you have only friends, they might only be able to see it from a friend's side and not know certain things. So I think they can fill in those holes. And honestly, they're a top team as well. Next, we have Robin, who is 56, and with Faith and Lance, her daughter Faith and her husband Lance, and they're from Las Vegas, and she is a personal assistant. Now, Miss Robin, I think, I think, I don't know why she's the one who signed up to do this show. I wonder what the thought process was behind this show. I don't know what the description was, and they made a video or how they got casted, what she thought it was going to be. If she thought she was going to go on like, if this was going to be what's that show where you travel around the world, Amazing Race settings. But I think she might have got on the wrong plane and she might have should have sent her daughter or her husband in there because she is not the one I would want down there. She is ready to go home. She does not know what to do. She is naked and afraid. And I think her time is limited. I think she's going to be the one to get up out of here. Well, I think she might be up here out of here next episode. If not, then the episode after that, for sure. They're struggling. She doesn't know what she's doing in the least bit. She has no survival skills in the wild. And I'm worried about her. But hey, look, get the week out and let the others prevail. I just think they sent the wrong one in there. But and they understand maybe they didn't want to send the father in there. Maybe he got health issues there. Oh, she is older, you know. Maybe the daughter. I don't know. I think this team is doomed. So we might not be seeing too much more of them. Then we get Rose 30 with Kelsey and Laura. Rose is a registered dietitian, so she'll be able to go with the survival part because she's always on a diet. And she lives in Denver, Colorado, and her cousin Kelsey and her aunt Laura. Cousin and aunt, interesting combination. I wonder if that's her daughter. That's Laura. Kelsey is Laura's daughter. Anyways, I think she's do well. She's super fit, super fit. Like this girl is like cut up, and they're doing real well. I think they have a great chance of winning as well. I think that they know her well enough to know what she needs and how to, provide for her. And they know that, look, she's a registered dietitian. She knows the landscape of, what she can, should, and shouldn't eat, how long she can go without eating. And she's probably been long periods without eating before. So definitely a good choice to send her in there. And they've been kind of, they was chilling the first episode as well. Next, we have Ryan H. With Roger and Candace. They're his parents, and they're from Lincolnton, North Carolina, and he's a diesel mechanic. Now, this dude is balling the first episode. Well, I ain't gonna say balling. I thought he would be balling. Until his parents could not get him enough supplies. I think they only supplied him like a sleeping bag and like flint maybe to start a fire or something like that. They packed him like two things, but when they were packing his supply crate, they had this pan in there that clearly wouldn't fit. And they put things in the pan instead of taking the things in the pan and dumping them in there. They just took the pan out, set it there, closed it, and they were moving so slow grabbing supplies. I was like, why are y'all walking in here like y'all taking a stroll down Fifth Avenue on a nice spring morning? This is a sense of urgency. They had 1 minute to get all these things in here, and they were moving slow as molasses. I would be pissed watching this back if I saw the people in there was moving slow as hell. I'd be pissed. They set him up for failure, and he looked like he was doing a great job before that, but now it's like, I don't know. I don't know. He ain't got no supplies. I mean, they could have at least they had the toilet paper in the bag too, and they didn't even give some damn toilet paper. So I'm like, God damn. So if he loses, it's his parents' fault, and I just blame it on them moving so slow. They need to pick up their sense of urgency, or they will be out of this game. Other than that, I'd say they had a strong team, but we'll see. And then we have Ryan, 41. He's an eBay reseller with Sarah and Sean. So his wife Sarah and his brother Sean, and they're from Conifer, Colorado, another Colorado team. Um, he seems fine. He got the Davy Crockett hat on. This man, he's good with the wilderness, I'm sure. I mean, an eBay reseller, I didn't know that was like a job that people actually like did, like for full time. Um, I mean, I know you can buy and resell stuff. I've done it before, but as a full time, I didn't know that. But they seem fine. He's a little under the radar this episode. I think he'll be good. We didn't get to see too much from him this episode, but I'm pretty sure he got the equipment and supplies that he needed. And honestly, there's not too much to say about this one right here. Oh, I was waiting to get to this team. Woody. Woody, Woody, Woody. Would he do something? Would he make amends? Would he make the game interesting? He made it interesting, but I think he would have wished he wouldn't have got in the forest. But we got Blake, Woody, and Colin. Woody's the dad. Blake is the son. Blake and Colin is the nephew. And they're from Grovetown, Georgia, another Southern team. And he is a retired law officer. So he's a cop, retired cop in the forest. Man, what to say about this team right here? This team is a hot mess. Hot mess express. First off, you got two young fit guys, and you decided you wanted to be the one to go in there. Maybe he wanted the experience. Maybe he thought, hey, I'm gonna be the one, by myself, and y'all two. No, no, I don't know what they were thinking. They sent him in there. They kind of knew what it was going down, and I don't get, like, the guy on the left, Blake, looks like he could do this wilderness thing with a hand hide behind his back. The father, Woody's 50. He's not that 50 ain't even that old, but he looked way older than 50. No offense. But he's acting like it. Like he's out of breath. He's breathing hard, not doing anything. He's lost, dazed, and confused. I mean, and I was just confused because he's a former law officer. Not that law officers know how to like survive in the wilderness, but damn, like this dude, he looked like he didn't have a clue. He looked like he didn't. He just got dropped out on Mars and didn't take all the classes or prepare at all, or didn't even know what planet he was on. Like I can't even explain what is going on with Woody right now, but the 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 the, the stupidity, I can't explain it. This man went out there and said, "I ain't got no water, so I'm gonna drink some river water." And he couldn't light the fire with the tools they gave him. And it's a different. It wasn't just like the magnesium and then like the scrape thing. It was something else where you had to like tie something and then like it was a scraping thing too. But he just like couldn't do it, and he's like, "Well, I'm just gonna drink river water." I'm like, "Bro, that is." I mean, they teach that in Boy Scouts. I even know that, and I was in no damn Boy Scouts, and I've been camping. Like I know these things. River water. Have you never been swimming in like an ocean or even a lake? Or a lake's different. You get my point, y'all. This man drank river water. Got all kinds of nasty bacteria up in there. I mean, has he never watched? I mean, I'm pretty sure if I just don't see why would you would think this. I mean, he's probably gonna be the first one out. He threw up at the end of the first episode. His son and his nephew are just like, we lost. Like they know they lost because they said if he threw up, they're gonna press the button. He threw up, and they can't wait any longer. And I think they're just delaying it for dramatic effect. And they're doomed. I think their game is over. I think Woody made a terrible mistake. I think he needs to get in the gym. I think he needs to use this to reevaluate, you know, hopefully his fitness. You shouldn't 50 isn't that old. It isn't that old to where you shouldn't have your health in check. And he looks very unhealthy, if I'm being quite honest. I mean, you shouldn't send a semi like a he's not obese by any means necessary, but he's definitely not in shape in the least bit. And they sent him in the forest to survive. This isn't like Survivor, okay? You did not go in there knowing exactly what you were going to do, but I'm pretty sure they knew they were going to be dropped in some forest somewhere, and they had to deal with some things. And I think he underestimated how hard it would be, because based on this picture, he looks like he's ready to go, but that picture is not a good demonstration of what he's looking like on the show. So I think they're doomed. I think they're done for. I think, they are going to be pissed off when they get back home because they're like, we came out here and we got embarrassed on national television. And hopefully this man gets his health in check because it just looks pretty bad. And I hope he's okay too. Drinking river water, that could kill you. um, and he's a retired law officer, so law officers, they ain't got you typically ain't got the best diet. They're out there Dunkin' Donuts, on break, smoking a six pack of, the whole nine, y'all. It's not looking good. But anyways, we gonna move on. I think they're entertaining in the wrong ways, but it might be nice knowing them. I think they're gonna be the first boot. And then that is it. Oh, we have a comment. Nikki said this had to be scripted with Anthony disrespecting the dad, blaming himself. I can't figure out how he left with all his teeth. My parents didn't care about going to jail. What you don't do is disrespect your parents. Okay, Nikki, look. All right, look. I get it. I get it. You don't disrespect your parents. But he's 18. Think of when you was 18. All the crazy things that you said about your parents when they weren't around, and you didn't have the cognitive dissonance to like maybe they might hear me or not. I remember one time I was growing up, I was cussing like mug on Xbox, and I wasn't. My parents wouldn't let me cuss, and I think I was like 16 or something like that. and they took the Xbox away for a month because I was cussing on it. But if I was smarter like I am now, I wouldn't. I would have been like, oh, they're in the room right around the corner. Maybe I shouldn't be cussing on this game. Then I would have got in trouble. But we're not that smart when we're 16, 17, 18 years old. There's always, if you're older than 18, then you always think, oh, if I go back to 18, I would do so many things different. And I'm sure he would do the same. So I'm going to cut him some slack because, he's never been put in a situation and he grew up rich, most likely, unless his dad blew all his NFL money, which I hope he didn't. But I'm gonna cut him some slack unless he can like calls his parents out by name and says like y'all dumb as hell for doing this because maybe he doesn't know his parents did this. Maybe he's thinking, oh, I didn't know my parents did that. The thing is, his parents also got to think like maybe he doesn't know that we packed this. So maybe somebody could have, maybe if it was a different team setting him up, and maybe that's what he's thinking, like somebody else set this up. This couldn't have been my parents. So give him some slack. I'm not gonna jump on this young brother because black folk ain't used to camping either. Okay, we are not in roots, and we are not back in the 1400s over here. Okay, y'all are especially our African Americans. We don't have those survival traits like that, and we ain't got the birthright citizenship to go back to Africa to practice our old teachings. But anywho, y'all, that's a whole nother story for another day. But anyways, yes, episode one ultimately which is getting introduced to everybody. They get dropped off. They let a whole day without anything, just surviving. And then, overnight you do see some animals come in, and then day two they get supplies dropped to them, and then people are crashing out. That was it. Episode one really wasn't much. We just introducing everybody and getting used to the show. And then after this, we can kind of follow what's really going down because there was also no eliminations. But thank y'all for joining me. I'm excited to see the rest of the show. I didn't know if I'd like it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little late doing this because I didn't know if I'd like the show, but I do like it so far. I'm excited to see what goes down, and yeah, y'all, it's gonna get rough and tough, and hopefully my brother Jacoby can survive and take this one home. But till next time, y'all, we out here. Peace, blessings, deuces. I'm so happy to be back, and have a great rest of your